Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dan Messerschmidt, and we're here at the 56th Bill Rahm Championships at Suburban Lanes in Bucyrus. We have with us today um, Bill Hanson, Bill Rahm Jr. We're going to be a little short on equipment, so Bill's not going to be able to chime in like he normally does. We have to kind of share the microphone, and Bill Rahm is going to come on with the announcements of the pre-tournament announcements. We want to remind you that we're brought to you by Roger Brown at Winks Lock and Safe and Fire Equipment, Rick McWaters at Cycle Tech, your one-stop shop for motorcycle parts, service, and accessories, 9 block west of the square. Vince Ponziani at Waycraft Industries. And now we have the introductions by Bill Rahm Jr., the tournament director.
Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome you into the finals of the 56th Bill Rahm Invitational. We also have a good match today. We've got Mike Lear in the losers bracket, and Don McLaughlin is undefeated. And that's just the opposite of the way they were when they met in 2020. So it ought to be a good match. I'd like to do some thank yous. A1 Printing for the programs, and there's programs on the table. So if you want one, you're welcome to them. Vassals for the shirts and the signs, 107 FM, 107.5 FM and 1540 AM radio, WBCO. Dan Messerschmidt for filling in as one of our play-by-play. Chris Stone for live streaming the opening and the finals, which are played on the website of Suburban Lanes. All the business owners that took out ads in our program, the sponsors for the bowlers, we appreciate it. Suburban Lanes and their crew, and Tasha and Sean. All the fan support for all the bowlers that come out, or fans that come out to watch the great match we've had this year. And Bill Hanson, my Mr. Everything, he does all my legwork for me while I'm down in Tennessee. So I appreciate it, Bill. Thank you very much. I want to introduce the bowlers now. On lane 9 is Don McLaughlin. Get my cheat sheet out here. Don is 54 years old and bowling in his 16th consecutive tournament. He is averaging 245.56 for 16 games in this year's tournament. Don has 6 games over 250 with a 278 high, 4 series over 700 with a 779 high, 3 series over 900 with a 984 high, and this year's high series of 1036. For his invitational career, Don has averaged 230.97 for 275 games. He was our 2010 and 2013 champion. He was runner-up in 2015 and 2020. He was fourth in 2006 and 2011. Don has 68 games over 250 with a 299 high. He has 30 series over 700. He has a 3-game high series of 812. Don has 38 series over 900 and 5 series over 1,000. He is the second highest invitational 4-game series of 1085. He is trying to become a 3-time champion. This is how Don got here. On opening day, he beat Terry Miller 984 to 801. On the first shift on Sunday, he beat Nathan Monk 963 to 947. On the first shift last Saturday, he beat Brock Likens 1036 to 859. On the first shift last Sunday, he beat Mike Lear 946 to 921. Don's hoping to avenge his loss to Mike in the 2020 finals. Let's welcome Don. On 10, I forgot to announce, Don McLaughlin is sponsored by Bucyrus Blades. On lane 10 is my buddy, Mike Lear. He's sponsored by Glen Hill Road Machinery Company. Mike is 52 in his 5th invitational. He has averaged 236.10 for his 20 games this year. He is our 2020 champion and last year's runner-up. He's only the second bowler to reach the finals for 3 consecutive years. Mike has 12 games over 250 with a 278 high, 4 series over 700 with a 761 high. He has 3 series over 900 with a 951 high and a high series of 1,017. For his invitational career, Mike has averaged 227.13 for 98 games. He has 21 games over 250 with a 298 high. He has 6 series over 700 with an 811 series. He has 11 series over 900 with a 984 high and a high series of 1017. We shot an opening Sunday. This match is a rematch of the 20 finals, only Mike was in the undefeated bowler. We had a fifth game roll off the last 7 years. This is how Mike got here. On opening day, he beat Chris Traxler 978 to 824. On the first shifts, on the first Sunday, he beat Mitch Long 1017 to 823. Last Saturday, the first shift, he beat Dave Schock 951 to 912. On last Sunday, on the first shift, he lost to Don McLaughlin 946 to 921. And last Sunday's second shift, he beat Dave Schock 950 to 927. Let's welcome Mike. Will you please stand for the national anthem? Thank you. We'll give the bowlers will now get 10 minutes of practice, and I'd like to introduce Bill Hansen. He's going to give you a rundown on what will happen if we go to a fifth game roll-off.
Thanks, Bill. We're going to, our championship pair this year, as always, is lanes 9 and 10, and we'll get practice here started, and Don will start on lane 9, throwing the first ball, and then Mike will come back with on the right and left lane. Since Mike has the one loss, if Don would defeat him in the first 4 games, then the match is over with. If Mike would defeat Don in the match, then we will go to a fifth game roll-off. And as Bill said, we've had that in the last 7 years. We will switch over to lanes 11 and 12, and they will have a fifth game roll-off to decide the tournament. If the fifth game roll-off would happen to end in a match tie, then we will go do another 9-10 lane roll-off. So right now they're getting warmed up, and we'll get ready here to take off, get a couple more minutes of practice. And a little trivia about the fifth game. We bowled in the past on Saturdays and Sundays. In the 21 years, we went to a 4-game roll-off 11 times. Warren Lutz was the only bowler from the undefeated spot to lose on Saturday and come back and win on a Sunday. Getting a lot of feedback here. Since going to the fifth game roll-off in 34 years, we've had 16 fifth game roll-offs. 7 times the undefeated bowler has come back to win in the fifth game after losing the 4-game match. Bowler coming out of the losers, I guess, has won the four-game match and the roll-off 9 times. So as you can see, the momentum does really carry over. So want to say good luck to the guys and let the best man win. Yeah. There, shut that off. Jeez. Yeah, well, somebody has to. Yeah.
Okay, so the two bowlers, Don McLaughlin and Mike Lear, are warming up now to get started here. Going to start pretty close to on time, Bill. Even though we had some technical difficulties and a few-minute delay, should be able to get things underway here in just a few minutes. Very close to the projected 1 o'clock start time. And the two Bills are going to have to, Bill Hansen, Bill Rahm, are going to be sharing a microphone, so it's going to be a little different than it has normally been in the past years. We had some equipment shortages here, and but we're going to make this work, guys. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll make it
That's
work.
for sure.
Yeah, they're going to. It's rather than their traditional flanking me on the left and the right. They're sitting together so that they can share that microphone, and you know, we'll have to see how that works. It's a little less convenient when you are down on the lanes, also announcing in-house here, Bill. We want to remind you that we're brought to you in part by Ron Hurst at Hurst Auto Body and Auto Rental, Route 4 just north of Bucyrus, Jeff Skinner at Integrity Auto and Truck Sales, Marion Road, Mike Robinette at Trinity Monuments, Jim and Debbie Mays at J&F Construction, Martin Bernhardt at Mike's Roofing, phone Bucyrus 562-5752, and Harry and Haley Matheny at Earhart's Party Store. Thank them for their sponsorship. Those are just some of the many sponsors that we have here. So, so what do you guys look for here? We talked about the fact that it's 7 straight years you've had the 5th game roll-off. It's kind of become a tradition almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
It kind of goes to show you that anybody can beat anybody at any given time, you know.
Yeah, you look at the way Dave Schock had been throwing the ball all year long, and, you know, people ask me, you know, who you think would win. I said, you know, Dave, you know, seemed to be the leader right now, and the way he's been bowling and Mr. Undefeatable. Well, found out that he wasn't undefeatable, and it comes down to, you know, that particular day and that particular match, who you're bowling against, and who gets some lucky breaks.
Yeah, I was surprised when you sent me the results, and Dave Schock, I thought he was a shoo-in for the finals, and
Yeah.
that just goes to show you that's why they bowl the games, right?
Yeah. Well, in the match between, you know, last week, you know, Donnie and Mike, they, you know, were bowling, and Mike left 3 10 pins, and he missed them. If he would have made those, you know, he would have been in the undefeated, and Donnie would have been over in the losers bracket as far as that goes. Now, would he have, you know, continued on in this rematch today? So it just, you know, comes down to luck.
The bad thing is no matter how good you bowl, you get in that loser's bracket, and somebody just bowls better than you do, no matter how good you bowl, and you're done.
Yeah.
I always tell the guys, you just win is to stay in the winner's bracket. You don't have to bowl any of the second shift. But
Yeah, that can get a little tiring, right?
Yeah,
I mean, yeah. That's 8 games. You have to roll 8 games in the same day. That's
Well, then you got to roll 8 games every day from then on.
yes.
Yeah.
So if you go in there on the first day, you got to bowl 8 games every shift. I mean, every weekend.
Yeah.
And Al was having trouble, and I told him, I said the best way to do this is stay in the winner's bracket, and you don't have to bowl 8 games in a day. And you know, that's easier said than done.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
They're getting warmed up here, and Give them a few more minutes here, and they should be ready to go.
Yep. In the meantime, we'll remind you that we're brought to you in part by Jim and Jeremy Lederer at Jim Lederer's Body Shop, the Nye family at Nye Builders since 1946. And Davey likes to remind everyone that Nye Builders was the first client on the Bill Rahm back in 1965. Sean and Tasha Ridgway at Dillinger's, home of Breezy's Pizza in the public square in Bucyrus. And they also are the proprietors of Suburban Lanes, and we thank them for hosting this tournament and allowing us to bring it to you. Mike Kleinheit at Ag Credit Residential Lending, Bucyrus, Marion, and Mount Gilead. Kim Stamper at Lulu's Kitchen, Marion Road. Andy Shutt at Shutt Brothers Sales. Nobody sells more pre-owned trucks and SUVs than Shutt Brothers since 1945.
You know, if Don had about 16 games to get here, if you lose on opening day or the first Sunday, you got about 28 games to get here. So,
Yeah,
makes a lot
to
of
get out,
difference.
come out to fight out.
To get out to the finals, yeah.
Yes.
You got about 7 matches to get to the final if you lose either on Saturday or the first shift on Sunday.
Yes. Okay, it looks like they're ready to go. And Don, being in the winner's bracket, he'll lead off, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Donald Bull won frame on the left-hand lane, and Michael Bull on right, and then the left, and they'll just alternate.
Okay.
And then they alternate games.
For those of you who aren't seeing the stream package here, they are bowling the first 4 games on lanes 9 and 10. Now,
Right.
if they go to a 5th game roll-off, they move, correct?
To 11 and 12,
Okay.
we'll move everything over, the table and everything over to 9 and 10, and then they'll get, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes to warm up on 11 and 12, and then we'll start, and then Mike will be on top because he would have won the last match. So then Mike will start the 5th game roll-off. There's a strike for Don.
And Don leads off, as predicted. We said he was going to do that, and
There's probably going to be lots of them today.
he's
Yeah.
going to see some strikes today,
A lot more strikes than just each Bears.
Yeah.
or hopefully splits.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, don't say that.
No.
That's a bad word.
I had a kiss of death right now there, Bob.
Mike rolls his first ball. Oh, and he leaves the 10.
Well,
Yeah.
First 10 pin of the day.
Yeah, looked like it was in the pocket too,
Yeah.
and it just
Yeah.
Yeah.
just didn't carry. Sometimes that happens, right?
We've got a lot of them this year, just for whatever reason.
Nobody's putting glue on the 10 pin.
Yeah, Don beat Mike by 25 pins, and Mike had a split and missed 3 10 pins. So if he picked up 2 of the 10 pins, he don't win, so he's got to pick up all 3, but still, his caliber, you think they'd pick most of the 10 pins up.
And Mike does convert, so he starts out with a spare. They both mark in the first frame, but
Mike just said that's like a strike picking that one up.
yeah, after his experience coming out
Yeah.
of the losers bracket, yeah.
I was sitting here the other day, and I went down to Mike, and he won, and I went down there and I says, hey, I said, you're going to be the second guy to make it to the finals 3 consecutive times. And that's a pretty good deal. And he talked to me, and didn't say much, and I walked back down there and said, I thought, well, crap, he's got to bowl another match. He's got to bowl Don McLaughlin. Yeah, I got him in the finals already, and he's still got to bowl another match. He never said a word. He never said, well, I'm not there yet. And that was a better ball.
And he comes back with a strike, yeah. So, spare strike for Mike.
I'm not
Lear.
sure the ball was better, but the results were better.
Yeah, I was going to say it looked like it was both of them were in the pocket, but just
Yeah.
for whatever reason, sometimes that doesn't
Well,
carry
it's
that.
I think it's the angle on the ball going into the head pin.
Yeah.
It just wraps that 6 right around the 10.
You got Warren out for a rest.
And Don with his second strike, he's starting off hot.
Yeah.
Don has a little bit of a unique approach.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
almost a little herky-jerky,
Yeah.
but it works for him.
But he's
He's in the winner's bracket, so
yeah. Well,
Yep.
next Saturday he starts the match game over at Blind Out Lanes over in Upper Sandusky. So
okay.
he's won that I think 3 or 4 times over the years.
And another strike, so he starts off with a turkey. Not a bad way to start the match.
No.
No.
Yeah, Don's approach, he has that little hesitation and
Yeah.
kind of turns a little, and kind of reminds you of, you guys would be familiar with this. Remember Louis Tiant when he used to have
Yeah.
that hesitation
Hesitation.
pitch? That's kind of what it reminds me of.
Well, you
The
know-
younger listeners aren't going to know what we're
You
talking
know,
about.
Yeah.
the pros always say it isn't how you get there, it's how you finish up.
That's correct. That is
Dave
correct.
Skaggs used to get a hand behind his back and curl his hand around. But as long as you get to where you're going to be when you throw the ball, that's all that matters. 4 steps, 5 steps.
Oh, another 10
Mike
pin.
lives another 10 pin. That's really kind of haunting him this
Yeah.
tournament, isn't it?
Yeah. Lane 10 is not his friend right now.
Yeah, there's a lot in sports in general, not just bowling.
Yeah.
You would think, oh, you'd never teach anybody to do it that way, but it works for that person.
Yeah.
and
Right,
That's all that matters.
But look at the approach that Randy Rank used to have.
Yeah.
You know, you talk about unconventional.
Yeah.
It just, yeah. It looked like he was going to fall over himself, but he was a champion.
Mike Lear going for the 10 pin and converts. So he's converted 2 10s today
Yeah.
so far.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a good sign for him.
He definitely has to be in his mind, you know, I got to make these 10 pins or
Well, and
I'm
that's
in trouble.
That's all he can do. If Don keeps throwing strikes, nothing he can do
That's
about it. Yeah.
No. That's just, you're at the mercy.
Now these two did meet in the finals before, correct?
2020.
2 years ago. Okay.
Mike Lear won.
Okay.
Don beat him in the 4-game match, and then Lear won the 1-game roll-off.
And this time he carries the 10.
No, Mike.
He wants to roll only 9 pins on lane 10 to get rid of that 10 pin.
This isn't a 9-pin no tap, Mike.
So how many, Bill? How many rematches have there been in this history of the
Oh,
tournament?
we had 11 in the rematch of the bowling.
Going against each other in the finals.
It happens a lot.
Okay. All right.
A lot of times, the guy we got what
Don
we
got
call
a 10 pin.
we got what we call the finals of the winners bracket.
Okay.
And a lot of times, a guy will get beat. Well, in my case, I beat Dave Skaggs. Dave Skaggs went over and won his match. Come back to the final, and I bowled him again in the final.
Okay.
So it happens a lot where a guy will meet, and then most of the time it's in that elimination. Don just missed his 10 pin.
Yep. Those can be bugaboos. That kind of
Yep.
kicks the door open for Mike a little bit.
Yeah.
After the Don McLaughlin had started out with 3 strikes, he comes up with an open by missing that 10 pin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See if he can get.
Yeah, since Mike's on a strike already, so he can
Yeah.
take some lead here.
Okay, he comes back with a strike.
Yeah. You know, there's some pretty good resumes for guys that made the finals. Steve Shields made it 4 times in 7 years. He won twice, runner-up twice. Randy Rank made it 4 times in 7 years and won all 4 years he was there. So there's some guys that are. Oh, Don's been in the finals 5 times in 13 years. I mean, you know, you get these guys up there that are that caliber of bowler, and
They're
Dave
consistent.
Yeah, Dave Skaggs was in the finals.
And Mike gets on lane 10. He gets the 10
See,
pin
that's
to
all
fall.
you got to do.
Wow.
It didn't want to go over, but
No.
he had 2 other pins that
Last-
came over and bumped it down.
So
Yeah.
Dave Skaggs was in the finals 7 times, and Mitch Long's been in the finals 8 times. You know, and them guys get in the finals, and it just, you know, we had a story when my dad, I made the finals, and they interviewed me on the radio before the match, and he said, who would you rather bowl, Gary Auk or Dave Skaggs? Because they had to bowl to see who was going to come back and bowl me. And I said, well, of course Dave Skaggs, because neither one of us been in the final. Auk's been there 3 times. I said, I'd rather bowl somebody that's never been there than to bowl somebody that's been there 3 times.
Yeah.
And Mike
that
Lear
turned-
comes back with another strike.
And it turned out Skaggs beat Auk, and then Skaggs came back and beat me. And that was the first time there'd ever been a left-hander in a final, and we were both left-handed. So I said there's going to be a left-handed winner for the first time, no matter which one of us wins.
A little heavy on the head pin
Yeah,
there.
that came up on him.
Yeah, and he leaves the 3-6.
3-6.
3-6 did a sleeper.
No, it's just
Okay.
3-6.
Yeah, when you hit the head pin that high, it just kind of shears those
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
off, doesn't it? Yeah. And he picks it up. So Don comes back with a spare on lane 10. Following his strike, so that was good. He marked after the strike. You lose quite a bit of pin count if you don't mark after
Yeah.
another mark. You leave those opens
Yeah.
and just
There's 10 pin.
another 10. Well, this one's on. At least this one's on lane 9.
Yeah.
I think that's the first time over here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
The other ones were all on lane 10.
Thing's 10, yeah. Oh,
That's a
Missed
miss.
it again.
Somebody's gonna have to correct the score.
yeah.
They'll do that up there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Don just got this new spare pin ball, and for the 10th, he's been having trouble with it, trying to make 10 pins now.
Yeah. Again, for the folks that aren't seeing it, the ball came back up out of the gutter and picked up the 10 pin, but that's not legal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once it's in the gutter, it's in the gutter. So they had to manually. They have the automatic scorekeeping system here, but they have to manually adjust it back to making that an open frame. And Mike Lear takes advantage. Another strike for him. So after the hot start,
Yeah.
Don's hit a couple of bumps in the road here with 2 opens, and
Yeah, those two 10 pins cost them a lot of pins.
yes. Mike's getting ready to make his approach on lane 9. And he leaves the 9. Another 10 pin. Leaves another 10 pin. That's been the pin of the day.
This is- yeah.
Maybe the pin of the tournament.
Yeah, so far.
You always think in terms of the head pin, but that 10 pin is causing problems. And Mike Lear converts again. So he has not left an open frame so far. That's good for him. Putting the pressure back on Don a little bit. I want to remind you that we're brought to you in part by Mike Kleinite at Ag Credit Residential Lending, Bucyrus, Marion, Mount Gilead, Kim Stamper at Lulu's Kitchen on Marion Road, and Andy Shutt at Shutt Brothers Sales. Nobody sells more
10 pin.
pre-owned trucks and SUVs than Shutt Brothers. Yeah, leaves another 10 pin, as we've been talking about throughout. It's been kind of the theme. Don leaves a 10. He pretty much has to convert this, or he's in trouble in this first game.
Yeah.
Not to put any pressure on him.
Yeah, he's got that.
And he's got that solid,
And he
Old
made
Bronx
it.
cheer.
kind of a
Yeah.
kind of a little sarcastic grin on his face.
Yeah.
Knowing he missed that last one.
So right now, Mike's got a 34 pin lead.
Well, and the other thing you got to look at is you don't worry about winning game to game so much. It's going to be the total score.
Yeah. But the best way to do it is win game by game.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a little lighter,
Yeah.
that carry.
Yeah.
Get some good carry. A little low on the pocket, but
You know, I said Mike Lear was in his third finals. The only other bowler to make more than Mike was Bubba Patrick. He was in 94 and 95 and lost to Randy Rank. And he come back and won the championship in 95 and 96. So he was in 4 consecutive finals.
Okay. Mike Lear getting ready to roll. Lane or frame number 9 on lane 10. And he was light in the pocket, but got the action too. So
He could have left the 7-pin that time.
yeah, both of them has. He thinks he thinks he might have stole one there.
Hey, you got lucky, Mike.
Yeah,
So he can strike over 249.
yeah. Well, as one of my old bosses used to say, it's better to be lucky than good. So
Yeah. Definitely applies in bowling.
Okay, another strike for Mike there. He's finishing really strong here. His first ball in the 10th frame.
Mike bowled Don. He left him 310 pins and missed him. And the second shift, he went outside a little bit farther. Got the ball to finish a little more.
And as you've mentioned in the past, it depends on how the lanes are the action with the oils and all, everything. It's different. It can be different.
Well, Mike's using a urethane ball, so that doesn't pick up oil, it just transfers it down. Lane,
Another strike.
Anybody get him there?
yeah.
So far, we haven't seen a Brooklyn yet today, have we?
Oh, no.
No.
He thinks we're jinxing him now. Hey, a strike's a strike, right?
That's right.
No matter which side you come in on. And another strike, so he finishes out with
Good game, Mike.
really nice.
249.
Yeah, good start to the.
Don can strike over 215.
Okay, and see there's our point. And then you're not leaving yourself so far behind,
Right.
Even though you lost the game. Okay, Don starts out the.
Got rid of the 10-pin that time.
Yes, he did. He had some good action there.
I'm keeping scores. You got to bear with me because I got my cheaters on and I can't see down the lane. If I put my lane on, then I can't see to keep score.
So Don's up here, second ball in the 10th frame, sitting on a double. Another strike for Don, so he's
Got rid of the 7-pin that time.
he's finishing strong too. Yeah, I'm sure he wouldn't mind one more strike, and as Bill Rahm pointed out, then he'd only be down 34 pins.
34 pins.
Yeah, which is not hard to overcome that
No.
with the 3 more games to go. Okay, well, he did leave a split, but it was on his last ball, so
212.
okay. Cost him 3 pins, but not death dealing, I would say, overall.
That ball came up a little high there.
Yeah, hit the head pin high up.
Yeah, we had our 7th tie match this year, and it was the highest score to tie a match in the history of the rain. They both shot 963,
Wow. Yeah.
and then the score ended up 1171 to 1145.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, they're finished up with game 1 now.
Yes.
Mike Lear won 249 to 212 in the first game. We'll be back after these messages with game 2. Bourbon Lanes at the 56th Bill Rahm Invitational. Mike Lear about to start game 2 with his first ball on lane number 9. And he starts out with a strike, so he's been on a heater. He's been on a heater.
Last Sunday, Dave Schock bowled Mitch Long. Going in the last game, Don Schock had the first 9 in a row, and he had to strike the first ball in the 10th to shut Mitch out. He struck out for 300, and Mitch opened the 10th. But yeah, that's a pretty good deal when you got to throw the first 10 in the last game to shut somebody out.
And Don McLaughlin starts out game 2 with a strike on lane 10. He's now ready to throw his first ball, and he's hoping his only ball on lane 9.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just both like to shoot to be throwing one ball per time. And
10 pin.
yep, left the 10 pin again. There was one that was rolling over
Yeah,
there, just didn't have any momentum.
Yeah.
Didn't have enough momentum. So Don's going to try to pick up this pesky 10 pin. It's just been pretty consistent today.
You wasn't real sure of that.
Yeah.
It was riding along the edge of that gutter, but it
Rail runner.
stayed out. So Don converts the spare, so he starts out strike spare. Now Mike Lear coming up for his first ball on lane number 10. And we'll remind you that we're brought to you in part by the Kimmerline family at Bucyrus Road Materials since 1939. Doug Luthold and Adam Weisner at Advanced Fiber Technology, and Gary and Judy McKee at Quality Printing, 214 West Liberty Street in Bucyrus. Mike Lear on his approach. And his first ball. He leaves the 10. Solid 10 pin.
Yeah.
Nothing touched that.
Nice ball, Mike. Hey.
Yeah, we're close enough to the lanes that they can hear us, so we try not to distract them too much with what we're saying, but they're cognizant of our presence at least. And Mike shaves that 10 pin, but he got it to go.
Just a little, Mike.
It's just a little.
Yeah.
Not standing.
Yeah.
That's all he cares about. That's right. Okay, so both have started out with strike spare. Mike Lear will now be bowling his third frame. This time moving over to lane 9. And a nice clean strike there. 4 foot. So he's Mike Lear's strike spare strike. And Don McLaughlin will now be coming up on lane 10 to start his third frame. And he starts out with a strike.
Looked like Donnie moved out a little bit more on the lane.
Okay.
Come into the head pin a little bit.
And there is an adjustment, even though you have a warm-up. That's not the same as being in competition.
Yeah, well, you know, the oil carries down a little bit or dries out, and then it causes the ball to either slide a little bit down the lane or hook, so then you got to make the adjustment. It's not so bad when you only got 2 bowlers bowling.
And another strike. So Don's coming back strong here again at the start of the
You know, Donnie's got
second game.
the highest average of any champion at 244.95. But Sean Ridgely's got the highest average for a single tournament with 245 when he was knocked out after four matches.
It's just so crazy how that works out,
Yeah.
isn't it?
He had 245.00 for 16
Yeah.
games and lost. I mean, was knocked out.
If you put it on paper, you'd say this guy wins, but
Yep.
not always the case.
Left the 4-pin that time.
Yeah, just a little light on the pocket there, wasn't he?
Well,
Yeah.
that's, just figuring up for the tournament, Donnie's average through the matches so far, 245.56. Mike's average, 235.85. And then we're talking about Dave Schock. He's averaged 240.5, I think, what it was when I added it up.
And he picks
And,
up.
so there you go. The averages.
That don't necessarily tell the story.
We were talking, and it seems like, not to put him down, but there's always somebody that's out there in the final four of the winner's bracket that you wouldn't think would be there. But you got a 240, a 230, a 220, and then somebody's a 209. But it's just a matter of hitting the right people at the right time.
They get hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all capable, or they wouldn't be in the field.
Yes.
That's right. And this has been a great field this year with having 4 rookies and had very good matches all through the whole Invitational.
So Mike comes up with a strike following his, or 2 strikes following his spare, so he's back on track.
No, he didn't like that ball.
Nope.
No.
Again, hit a little heavy on the head pin. Fortunately, didn't get a split out of it. He left
Got
the
that-
610.
Got that in a little bit and it didn't carry right.
Okay, I think he was a little worried about shearing that 6-pin,
Yeah.
but he was able to go over and kick out the 10 also. So Don McLaughlin with the spare following his 2 strikes, and he is up on lane 9.
He didn't like it. We got a
Didn't
strike.
like it, yeah.
He thought he left it out too far, but it came back nicely at the end, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's blaming us now.
No, that's Mike.
Yeah.
We're just watching. We have no effect on the lanes,
We
right?
have no control.
Yeah, Randy Rank was the only one to throw, ever bowler to throw a 300 in the final.
Pretty rare, isn't it?
56 years, yeah.
Mike's thinking he got away with another
Amazing.
one. But he's okay with it. They all fell down. Again, just hit that pocket just a little low, but he got the
They
action.
used to call that the Bob Long ball. Kick out the 5-7. Mike can add to his lead if he gets a strike here. That's good.
And he strikes again. So Mike Lear with 2 strikes. Back
Right
to
now,
back.
Mike's got a 110 in the 5th with a double. Don's got a 108 in the 5th with a strike.
Again, Don comes up. That was a very similar ball to Mike's.
Yeah.
A little light in the pocket, but it's you know.
Get a little mixer there.
But yeah, get good action.
They used to say hit them thin and let them spin.
There you go. That's
Yeah.
I was going to say you do sometimes get even
Yeah.
better spin action than you get if you hit it solidly in the pocket.
Yeah, put it in the pocket, you leave a 10 pin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 6 will run right
Clears
around.
everything out and just leaves the
Yeah.
10 behind. Yep.
Good ball.
Yeah.
Okay. Solid strike there
Well, Donnie.
for Don. So he's keeping pace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's keeping pace. Mike has gotten hot again here. Three strikes. He's on a turkey, but Don matched that.
Yep.
He is too. So they're neck and neck in this game. But as you pointed out, Bill, you can't lose too many games and still win the
No.
4-game match. You got in order to get the lead, you have to win some games. And Mike Lowe, he gets the what was that, the 9-pin that came out of the
Thank you.
gutter, or the 4?
Yeah,
And
6 pin came out.
6-pin?
Six
Yeah.
pin.
6 pin came out.
You know, Randy Hard used to tell me, he said, you got to throw the ball straight in the pocket to get a strike, you aren't lined up.
So that's the 4th strike in a row for Mike Lear, and he will be bowling here his ninth frame in game 2. And another solid strike for Mike
Could
Lear.
have been a 10 pin standing up there. Last one to go down again.
So 5 in a row for Mike Lear, keeping the pressure on Don McLaughlin here.
Yep.
He's got to keep matching him to hang in there. And he does on his first ball on lane number 10.
Or he can strike out with 258.
Pretty good game, and he's still fighting for his life.
Yeah, that's true.
Eh.
And 258, you might lose ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. If Mike keeps his foot on the gas pedal, it's very possible. Another strike for Don McLaughlin. So
Good ball, Don.
he's doing what he
Yeah,
has to
that's
do.
all you can do.
That's all he can do. He
There is
can't
no defense in this game.
That's right.
No.
That's right. Again, we're brought to you in part by John and Julie and Jerry Rossington, Ohio Auto Parts, 321 West Mansfield Street. Mandy Paez and Missy Stryker at Castle Auction and Appraisal, and Hannah Newton at Wendy's Downtown Bucyrus and Upper Sandusky. Don rolls his second ball in frame number 10, and again he gets as you said, he gets him spinning, and it cleared everything out. That 5-pin was kind of dangling out there, but
Yeah. Well, he's playing lanes 9 and 10 a little bit different.
okay. Again, as you said, the oils and whatnot are different
Yeah.
on each lane.
Well, with Mike's track with the urethane ball against Donnie's. That's a place to leave it. 255.
Okay, so pretty
467.
pretty solid game for Don McLaughlin there. Finishes with a
Yep,
255.
255, yep.
But when you got your opponent on a five strike heater,
Yeah.
it's kind of daunting.
Yeah.
Mike has his
You got to strike out to beat him
Yeah.
for the game.
okay. He does the first one.
Nice ball, Mike. over 260.
And Mike's he's kind of contemplating because he knows
It'll take a little more time, I think.
knows what's on the line here.
Dribbled that one.
Up, left
yeah.
his 10 pin.
Dribbled that one.
Yeah. Okay. So if he spares 249, Don will pick up 6 pins in this game on his deficit. We're brought to you in part by Washington Auto Parts, your Napa dealer, East Mansfield Street at Stetzer Road, Jim Spring and Tom Brown at Spring Capital Management, and Daryl Swinehart and Ashley Lutz at Ag Credit Bucyrus. Mike getting ready to throw his final ball in frame 10. And if he converts, he will finish with a 249.
The 249 game.
Oops, he just missed it. So 248.
48.
So Don McLaughlin
497.
picks up 7 pins against his deficit. He's down 27 going into game 3. We will be back with you for game 3 right after these messages. And we're back here at Suburban Lanes in Bucyrus with the 56th annual Bill Rahm Invitational Tournament. We're starting game 3 with Don McLaughlin taking his first ball on lane number 9, and he gets some pretty good action there to start the game with a strike.
10 pin was the last one to go down.
Yeah, it's been stubborn today. Let's say that. So
That's the way it's been.
We'll call it stubborn. And now Mike Lear will start frame 1 of game 3 on lane 10. Mike's first ball leaves the 10 pin. So been a theme for the day.
Yeah.
We'll see how he responds to this. Mike hasn't, again, we don't want to say too much, but the only miss he had was in the 10th frame. He missed his 3rd ball. He didn't convert the spare. Other than that, he's had no openings. And he picks up the 10 pin. He's getting a lot of practice on that 10 pin. So
Mike's had 7 balls he didn't strike on, and 6 of them been 10 pin.
Yeah.
The other one was a 4.
Yeah.
that's consistency.
I don't know if it's good consistency or bad, but he only missed 1, and it only cost him a pin.
And he kicks out the 7 was kind of
Yeah.
balking there, but
That was a good hit. He just fell funny.
yeah.
Yeah, true. You know, Sean Ridgway was the first bowler ever to throw 200-300 in the same tournament, and Mike Lear did that last year. He's the second one. He got,
And there's a good solid strike for
yeah,
Don.
that was a good ball. Then you get 13,000 games, and you only got 29-300. That don't happen very often.
No. No. No, that is a rarity. In fact, it's actually one of the hardest things to do in sports. Is
Yeah.
I mean, in just single regular competition. And he had to kick the 7 pin out that time, didn't he? So Don McLaughlin starts out game 3 with 3 consecutive strikes, a turkey. We've seen quite a few of those today.
Yeah.
Well, with scores like 249, 248, 255,
Yeah, you're going to get
you're
up.
going to get some turkeys in there, yeah.
Yeah.
And you're not going to have many opens.
No. You know, Donnie'd like to have those 2 10 pins back that he missed.
Yeah.
Oh boy, then we'd be neck and neck right now.
Yeah.
And the 10 big kicked out that time. Didn't want to go down.
No.
So Mike follows up his opening frame spare with 2 strikes, and he will throw his first ball of game 3 on lane 4. And another strike, so another turkey.
Could have left the 9.
Yeah.
That was the last one to go down, was a 9 pin.
Yeah.
As Mike pointed out earlier, he doesn't care as long as they all fall down.
Yeah, right.
He doesn't care how he does it.
Right.
That was a little light
Yep.
and left
Yep.
left the 4-8.
Just shaved that head pin and left the 4-8. So another one of those where you have to watch chopping one of them off.
Yes. This is a real easy one to do.
Yeah.
Get caught in that oil down lane and
And he goes right between them. So that's the
Yep.
safe route to go.
Yeah.
Safe route to go.
definitely.
So Don converts the spare.
And you go back though and look, and Don's had 2 7 counts on his fill ball. You know, that's 6 pins you're losing.
Yes.
You get down to
Yep.
the end, that can make a little bit of a difference.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure could.
You know, sometimes it don't make a difference, but sometimes you get down to those close games.
Good solid strike
Right.
there. So he comes back and covers the spare with another strike, and see how Mike Lear responds to that. I want to remind you that we're brought to you in part by Renee Cox at People Savings and Loan in Bucyrus, Mark Osborne at E-Crane International in Galleon in the Industrial Park, Dwayne Watts at Doug Fote at the Watts House of Insurance, and David and Judy Hedrick at D-Dry Basement Waterproofing, the permanent solution to your wet basement problem. 800-686-4585. Mike Lear getting ready to start frame number 5. And he starts it with a strike.
Got rid of that 10 pin
Yeah,
again.
yeah. That 4 pin's been doing the job. It's kind of cutting him out of the gutter there and knocking off that 10. 10's still stubborn, but I've been getting it to go. I've noticed as the match goes on, Mike's getting a little more deliberate. He's not rushing anything.
Yeah, definitely.
Right now, Mike's up 11 pins this game. Oh, hello.
Hey.
I thought that was going to be high, but I guess not.
Good pin action on that ball.
Yeah.
Kind of knocked that 4-pin out from behind, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don was a little worried that was going to be light, but went solidly into the pocket.
Yeah, it was giving the old crank.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, he was cranking it. Yep. Got to use that body language. That helps.
That'll get you a strike every time.
So right now, Mike's 12 pins up on this game. Both on one or double.
And another strike for Don McLaughlin. So he's keeping pace here.
Good
Both
ball, Don.
Good on it.
both strikes. And another turkey, as we've talked about.
Yeah.
Not uncommon in this match.
For those of you who don't know, our little broadcast partner here, that's his son-in-law, Don McLaughlin. So Bill Hansen's son-in-law is bowling in the final.
But Bill's, as a broadcaster, you're neutral right now, right?
That's right. Lear was trying to give me a hard time last Sunday when they were bowling that I was being prejudiced. No, I'm just writing the scores down.
Yeah, true.
Have nothing to do with it.
You know, it's hard not to root for a bowler, especially if you got a
Yeah.
favorite
Yeah,
bowler.
That's
you know.
right.
Yeah.
You can have your personal opinions.
You don't, you don't want to let anybody know, but it's hard.
As a sports writer for many years, I have to be neutral when I'm
Oh,
writing
yeah.
my stories.
Yes.
Yeah, it's hard.
But I still have my personal opinions.
Yeah, right.
Sure.
I try not to let that bleed over into my professional writing.
Oh yeah, you always have the favorites that you
Yeah.
hope to win.
Hmm.
Sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't.
That's right.
That's part of the game.
Yep. Make Lear on lane 10. And a strike. And that's again, he's getting pretty good action.
Good ball, Mike.
Yeah.
It's kicking the 7-10 pins out of there and not letting them.
He's getting a little more drive on the ball. I think he might have went outside a little bit. Ball
Yeah,
maybe
he's been
finishing.
going outside a little farther on 10 and
Yeah.
he's staying fairly close to where he started on 9. Yeah, and I got that outside.
Yeah, almost a little thin
he's
there, but
changed outside.
he got it to come back in enough that
Yeah.
cleared everything out. Remind you that we're brought to you in part by Roger Brown at Winks Lock, Safe, and A&E Fire and Safety Services. Rick McWaters at Cycletech, your one-stop shop for motorcycle parts, service, and accessories, 9 block west of the square in Bucyrus, and Vince Ponziani at Waycraft Industries. And Don, he left the same
Oh,
one.
he got 480.
Yeah, he's left that same 2 pins that he left back in the 4th frame. And here we are in frame number 8. And just what we talked about before, it's an
Caught up
easy
in that
one,
oil.
easy one to shave off. It is, yes. So he
Yeah,
leaves an open.
He didn't get up to the 4 pin.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if you're going to do that, you have to hit it to the high side of the 4 pin so it can clear
Yeah.
clear the 8.
Yeah.
But
Right.
if you come in low, you're going to
You
shave
get
it.
too
Yep.
much on the
Yeah, cutting
floor
across
pin,
on,
then you chop it off.
on the oil and so forth. You get caught up in that oil and it doesn't want to break.
And he comes back with a strike.
Okay. Good comeback.
So Mike can strike out with 290.
And once again, as we said, you can't control the opponent, so
Yeah.
he keeps throwing strikes. Nothing Don can do about it. Pike on his approach. And oh, kicks that 7 pin out again. Yeah, good job.
Good ball, Mike.
You want the 7 back
He,
up, Mike?
he doesn't like to talk
Want the
about
7 back up?
he doesn't like to talk about the 7 or the 10.
Yeah.
The 10's been a little worse, but so far in this game, he has been able to clear out both of them for the most part. And he clears out the 7 and the 5 on that
Almost
one.
left the 5 pin.
7.
Hey.
Yes, he got some. I think he had one pin that took both of them out.
I think so. I think the head pin took both of them.
So he's looking to finish up the 10th frame here with another 2 strikes. That would, as Bill pointed out, a 290.
He's going to put Don in a pretty big hole if he strikes.
Yeah.
Yes. And another strike.
I'll get one more. How about 787 if he strikes here?
Yeah. He's bowling good.
That's, yeah, I was going to say that's a pretty good 3-game series.
Yeah.
Oh, not pretty good. That's a real good 3-game series.
Don can have 711 if he strikes out.
And he does strike out. So Mike,
Nice game.
Nice
Mike
game, Mike.
Lear
Good game.
finishes with
290.
and with 11 straight strikes.
Yeah, 11 strikes.
Wow. Yep.
787.
He's got 787. And Don can have 711 if he strikes out. No, no.
Oh, he left a sleeper back there this time.
Yeah. Left the 258.
258.
That's an easy one to chop the 8 off of.
Yes, it is. He did.
Wow. Tough way to finish.
212.
679.
Wow. It's hard to think that you rolled a 212 and got pretty much smoked.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what happened.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Lear was so hot. Well, we're finished with game 3. We'll come back with game number 4 here at the Bill Rahm Invitational after these messages.
There's a 300 right
Yeah,
there.
there's 12 in a row.
Just,
Yeah, right.
yeah.
And we're back here at the 56th Bill Rahm Invitational, and both bowlers have thrown their first ball in frame number 1 of game number 4, and both have had strikes. Now we're back up with Don McLaughlin. He's rolling his second frame, and he starts out with another strike there. So, as you pointed out, Bill, he's got a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah. There's 108 pins up, and my former tournament manager, Harry Wells, was the only bowler ever to lose up by 100 pins in the last game of a match. He was up, and he got beat 169 to 278.
Wow.
He was the only bowler ever to lose by 100 pins in a game.
Yeah, so this is a pretty difficult task right now.
Yeah, Donnie would have to have a 300, and Mike would have to have some opens here.
Yeah.
Have any chance.
Well, you know,
And he gets the 7 to fall. He likes it. He chopped that 7 off, and
you know, yeah,
he'll take it.
If Mike shoots 200, Don
Yeah,
can't win,
Yeah,
no matter what he shoots.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tell him, Dave.
And Mike not liking the looks of the pins. I think he's going to have them reset.
Yeah, gonna have a re-rack.
Yeah.
I was up 106 pins on Mike Spears going into the last game. He started out throwing about 5 or 6, you know, and I'm getting a double and a spare and a double and a spare. He ended up shooting 289. I shot 217, and I beat him by about 18 pins or something like that. I was sweating, man. I just figured he kept throwing all these strikes. I kept thinking, holy mackerel.
And another strike for Mike Lear. So Mike starts out with a turkey in game 4. And we're going to remind you that we're brought to you in part by Ron Hurst at Hurst Auto Body and Auto Rental. Route 4 just north of Bucyrus. Jeff Skinner at Integrity Auto and Truck Sales, Marion Road. And Mike Robinette at Trinity Monuments. Don McLaughlin with his first ball in frame number 3. And
10
he
pin.
leaves our old friend the 10 pin.
Yeah.
Wonder if it's the same exact pin every time.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
Be pretty unlikely, I would say.
Yeah.
I used to bowl with colored head pins back in the day when you could, like,
Oh, Donnie
they call it moonlight bowling.
pulled that.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. So Don with an open here in the 3rd. I don't think it's going to really matter.
No, I don't think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, he needs to just kind of get himself tuned up for
Yeah.
the 5th game roll-off.
Yeah. Settle down and
Mm-hmm. And he rolls frame 9, and he comes back, leaves the 10 pin again. So
Dino used to tell me when he was in a situation like this, where he was getting beat, he'd take the last game to try and get lined up with a different ball, and he said it ain't going to matter. You know, you're down 100 and something pins.
yeah, you're not going to win anyway. That's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. And he picks it up.
But then if you're bowling with a ball you think will work, and what do you do, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
that's what
Especially with the ball you've been bowling with the whole tournament, and then all of a sudden you can't carry, and then
Yeah.
what do you go to?
Yep.
Well, that's what Donnie just took that ball he's been using off the rack.
Yeah.
So, and if when they do move over to 11 and 12, 11 and 12 play a little bit different than 9 and 10.
Right.
Right.
Normally.
And Mike Lear for his first ball here on frame number 4, fourth game. And he has another strike. So if you go back to the last game, that's like 15 strikes in a row that he's
Yeah.
thrown.
A lot of the bowlers talk about liking to go back to the Saturday and Sunday finals. But I said, we know the TV and the radio and everything, and setting up on Saturday, and then have to come back out and set up again on Sunday, and the
Don't think we'd get that done.
and they put
Yeah.
the bar lights up the first time, and that's what constituted that, because they were afraid kids would climb on them if they left them up. And so after that, they decided to go to the one-game roll-off. So TV and all that wouldn't have to come back
Yeah.
2 days in a row.
And another strike. So he's in a groove right now.
Yeah.
He's a strike throwing machine right now.
You know, if he would strike out, he'd have all those games at 240, 240, 290, 300, and he still wouldn't beat the high series ever bowled.
Isn't that crazy?
He'd have 1087, and Mark Scott shot 1092.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa! He dumped a bucket.
Yes.
Man.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. That's a weird hit.
That was.
Jeez. That looked like a Lear shot. That looked like Mike Lear's ball.
Mike or Don McLaughlin gets a strike in frame number 5, and he's throwing on lane 9. And he kicks out that 10 pin. He got the
Yeah.
break on that one. So Don with 2 strikes in a row, but a little bit too little, too late, I think,
Yeah.
in this situation. So we're gonna have to. So we're definitely gonna have a 5th game roll off. We want to remind you that we're brought to you in part by Jim and Debbie Mays at J&F Construction, Martin Bernhardt at Mike's Roofing, phone Bucyrus 562-5752, and Harry and Haley Matheny at Earhart's Party Store. Oh, hit a little high on that one.
Good one, Mike. Good run.
He almost went for the Brooklyn that time. He was high enough on that head pin. He leaves the 610. Definitely not an automatic. You have to be careful with this one.
Yeah.
And he converts, so avoids the open. But as any bowler would be, after throwing that many consecutive strikes, he'd like to have that 300 game.
Yeah.
Just shows you how hard it is to do, how
Yeah.
rare it is.
Yeah.
In the groove that Mike was in, and
Yeah. Well, they always say it's easier to get a hole in one than it is to
Yes.
throw at 300.
mhm.
Wow.
He left a
4-8.
4-8.
And again, for all intents and purposes, it's not going to hurt him.
No.
But I'm sure he'd rather be throwing strikes still.
Just upsetting.
Yep.
That's more than anything else.
And he picks it up. So Mike Lear with back-to-back spares. And we'll take this time to remind you that we're brought to you in part by Jim and Jeremy Letter at Jim Letter's Body Shop, the Nye family at Nye Builders since 1946. the first client on the Bill Ring back in 1965. And Sean and Tasha Ridgway at Dillinger's, home of Breezy's Pizza, Public Square, Bucyrus.
Another 10-pin for Donnie.
Don left a 10-pin again. And it's lane 10. Lane 10
Yeah,
seems to be
that's-
more of
Yeah.
a problem than lane 9
That-
for whatever
that was a
reason.
good ball, too.
Yeah. Yeah. And he picks it up. For his own mental stability, he was able to pick that one up. We're brought to you in part by Mike Kleinite at Ag Credit Residential Lending, Bucyrus, Marion, and Mount Gilead, Kim Stamper at Lulu's Kitchen on Marion Road, and Andy Shutt at Shutt Brothers Sales. Nobody sells more pre-owned trucks and SUVs than Shutt Brothers since 1945. Don goes up on lane 9 and
Got rid of the 10.
clears him out. He did kick the 10-pin out that time, and so he is now through frame number 8 in game number 4. And we're basically finishing this one up for statistical purposes because we know we're going to have a 5th grade roll off at this point.
Making 8 years in a row.
Yep.
Yeah.
Becoming the rule rather than the exception.
Yeah.
And another strike for Mike, so he's kind of back on track after the back-to-back splits, or spares. Didn't have any opens, but interrupted his strike skein, you might say. And he's going to be rolling his first ball in frame number 9 on lane number 9. And he leaves the 10 again.
That's what I get for thinking that.
Yeah. Well, that.
Well, I was just sitting there thinking if he doubles here and stays clean, he'll set the highest score ever shot in the finals.
Oh,
But he can't do it now.
Oh, the 1087 wasn't in the finals.
No,
No.
he could shoot 246, and that'd give him 1033, and Butch had 1036 in the final, at the highest ever shot in the final. So he needed to double and stay clean.
And Mike picks up the 10 pin. So he'll go into the 10th frame on a spare.
I was just thinking, I marked 2-1 and left it blank for 216.
Oh.
I did that once, and one of these guys was bowling and hit his ankle through a gutter ball.
Oh, he hit the 10. He hit the head pin real solid that time.
The 3-6.
Yeah, left the 3-6. But as we pointed out, this is kind of window dressing at this point. Not going to affect the outcome. And he does convert the spare. Now Don will move over to lane number 9 to roll his 10th frame.
So Don can have 895 if he strikes out.
Pretty good series in its own right, but
Yes.
he ran into a real hot Mike Lear today.
Six. You got a sleeper? That's
Yeah.
a bucket?
Yes.
Yeah, left the
Yep.
bucket.
And for those who aren't aware of what that is,
It's a 2-4-5-8.
Yeah, 2458.
very odd one to leave.
Yeah.
Obviously, the first one today.
And you can chop it off
Yeah.
and leave the
you
8
need to
pin.
chop. Ooh, you got it.
You got it.
Almost left the 5 pin.
And you got the 5 pin sliding sideways.
So one more
I better
ball
not
here for
mark
Don.
2-0. He needs.
Yeah.
He needs 8 pins or 2
Got 7. Okay, Donnie.
You got 7?
Yeah,
Don
199.
McLaughlin ends up with a 199.
878.
You got 8,
878 total.
898.
8.
No,
878.
878.
Okay. And Mike Lear ready to roll his 10th frame so that we can move on to the 5th game roll off. And he gets a 9-pin count. His first ball in the 10th frame.
You got 235.
That would give him a 1031 series.
1022, I think.
Oh, 1022. And he
I'll
picks up
tell you
the-
what, that's tough bowling when your opponent don't have an open.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
only one he missed was the fill ball in the 10th.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't leave you much room.
Nope.
No.
And we're again brought to you in part by the Kimmerline family at Bucyrus Road Materials since 1939. Doug Luthold and Adam Weisner at Advanced Fiber Technology. And at Gary and Judy McKee at Quality Printing, 214 West Liberty Street in Bucyrus. Next last ball.
Good
Strike.
shape, Mike.
Serious, Mike.
Good series.
Good for a 235. So we will have to do some.
No.
No.
We have to move lanes.
Get
So
your ass
that's
over there.
gonna be kind of has the advantage.
The guy that scores more pins
Yeah.
wins.
Mentally, it's a little tough for the winner guy, the winner's bracket after losing, to have to come back and win that fifth game.
But still, the pressure's on the guy that beat Donnie.
Yes.
Mike's got the same pressure that he's still got to perform, and
because it's one game, you know.
carry him.
You forget about the other. You try to forget about the other four, and just hope that you get lined up and throw strikes.
And neither one of them are quitters, and you know, Donnie's been through this before, and so is Mike. You know, you put those 4 games behind you, and this is a new day,
Yep.
so to speak.
Yes.
And you've got a new line to play, so you just go out there and concentrate on hitting your mark, and nothing else matters at this point. You can't worry about getting a trophy or not.
Yeah, and
Don't think so.
You guys ready? Ready. They're ready.
okay, so warm-ups are completed. They're ready to go, and Mike Lear, being the winner of the 4-game match, will be starting out first.
Yeah.
Yeah. No on 11.
No, they got it backward.
No, they don't. You just had the initials wrong.
Yeah. Good initials. So,
Okay, it's a little technical difficulties here with the score sheet, the electronic score sheet. Still called a score sheet, even though there's no sheets anymore.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
I can remember back in the old days, you'd come into open bowl, and Howard or whoever was working behind the counter, he had a big pad, and he just rip you off of it might have 5 or you could bowl 5 or 6 games. We never did that many, but
And then when they put the overhead projectors in, then you had the plastic and wrote on it with pencil and so forth, and showed overhead like these television screens do,
Right.
the monitors, and so it's and kids nowadays, they really don't understand the scoring procedures of bowling and so forth. Well, the computer does it now.
it does it automatically, yeah. And Mike Lear getting ready to start the 5th game roll-off here. And he starts with a strike. Good pin action there. Good, a solid ball to start game 5. Yeah, and for those who, I don't know how many people listening know Howard, he's still here. He's here today.
Yeah.
He's here today after all these years. Howard Steinman. And Don rolls his first ball. And he has a strike. So, both bowlers starting off strong. And then you wipe the slate clean, no matter how much Mike won by, has nothing to do with this game.
Doesn't matter.
It's the totals in this game only. And another strike for Don. So kind of started the way he started the first game of the 4-game match. He started out with 3 strikes there, and then just hit a couple of bumps in the road and got himself in the hole. And we're brought to you in part by Roger Brown at Winks Lock, Safe, and A&E Fire and Safety Services. Rick McWaters at Cycletech, your one-stop shop for motorcycle parts, service, and accessories, 9 block west of the square in Bucyrus. And Vince Ponziani at Waycraft Industries. Now Mike Lear lining up for his second frame. Whoa, our first split of the day, guys.
Wow. 2-4-10.
Kind of an inopportune time for for that to happen to either of them, really.
Sean's getting
You throw it right, like that.
Oh, so it does not end up a split.
yeah.
Put some glue under it.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it's still.
yeah, Sean's got to put it back, put the 10 pin back up.
Okay. So if it doesn't fall completely over, it's as if it's standing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's a leaner. I don't know that I've ever seen a leaner before.
Yeah.
That's pretty hard to do, actually.
That's like 8.5.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Now we're like the old days when you had the pin setters.
See, if that would have fallen like that, and the pin spotter come down, then it would have been knocked down. But if the pin spotter knocks it down, then it's got to be set back up.
Oh.
If that had been anything like that, and the pin spotter would have cleared it and put those 2 pins down, then it would have been knocked down.
Okay.
But if a pin spotter knocks it down, then it's got to be
Can't do it.
reset.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, he made a shot at it, but he just didn't
Yeah.
quite have enough of an angle to.
Yeah, come out of the pit.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Mike's Lear's first open of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got to see if he can kind of gather himself here and make a comeback. And he comes back with a strike. Solid strike there on lane number 11. For those of you who might just be joining us, we are in the 5th game roll-off of the 56th Bill Rahm Invitational Tournament. Mike Lear came out of the losers bracket to defeat Don McLaughlin, who was the winners bracket champion. And now they're playing for the title in game 5. And Don with another strike. So he keeps the pressure on. Keeps the pressure on. Starting out with a turkey. Oh, hit
4 pin.
just hit a little solid on that head pin, and it
Yeah.
didn't have enough action to clear out the 4 over on that left side. So I'm sure Don will be happy if he can pick this up and
Yeah.
start out with 4 consecutive marks, three of which are strikes. And he just buries that 4 pin for a spare. So now it's up to Mike Lear to see if he can get things heated up again, because he was on between games 3 and 4. He was
on fire.
15 strikes in a row there to end game 3 and start game 4. So ended up with a 290 in that game 3. Ooh, another split.
Got a 4-7-10 this time.
Boy, he pretty much drilled that head pin straight on.
Yeah.
Seems like he's having a little bit of a problem adjusting to these lanes, isn't it?
Well, 12 comes up a little bit more than what 11 does. It moves a little bit more generally.
And he gets the 7 or the 4-7, but he leaves the 10. So another open for Mike Lear. He's got an uphill climb now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Unless Don just
Donnie.
falls apart. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he gets a strike on lane number 11. So
And
at least stops the bleeding a little bit there, but
yeah.
and we're brought to you in part by Jim and Debbie Mays at J&F Construction, Martin Bernhardt at Mike's Roofing in Bucyrus, phone 562-5752, and Harry and Haley Matheny at Earhart's Party Store. And Don McLaughlin starts out with another strike.
Well, Mike can only strike out for 236, and Don's going on the 2-team clip right now.
They got the scores flipped, don't they?
No.
That 10-pin
Left a
wobbled.
10-pin.
10-pin
Jeez.
wobbled, but it didn't go
Messenger
down.
came over, but it didn't do its job.
Yeah, see, they got Mike Lear.
Yeah, because he'll be on that side. He'll be in the right lane when he gets up.
Oh, and Donnie leaves an
This is a
open.
10-pin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So Mike Lear with a chance to maybe get back in this again. This could go down to the wire.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, left a 7-pin this
Left
time.
a 7.
And the way things going, this isn't a real gimme anyhow. You know,
No.
you
No.
could slide right by it or come left and put it in the channel.
And again, they were bowling on 9 and 10. Now they're on 11 and 12.
Yeah.
Okay, he picks it up. So avoids the open. Avoids the open. And again, we're brought to you in part by Ron Hurst at Hurst Auto Body and Auto Rental, Route 4 just north of Bucyrus, Jeff Skinner at Integrity Auto and Truck Sales, Marion Road, and Mike Robinette at Trinity Monuments. Mike Lear up on lane 11, throwing his first ball in frame number 7. And another strike. And Don McLaughlin rolls his first ball. And
Left an
he
8-pin.
leaves an 8.
Solid 8.
So again,
That's a true tap in bowling.
He's-
Leave the 8-pin for a right-hander.
he's kind of leaving the door open here, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he gets the spare, so avoids another open. So that's now Don McLaughlin getting ready to roll his first ball in frame number 8. He's up on lane 11.
Left an 8-pin again.
Right, and it sure looked like he had the action there too.
Wow.
And it just
Gee.
so solid too. It just sat there.
Especially back-to-back 8-pins.
Yeah.
That just both great balls too.
And he finishes it up, cleans it up. but break for Mike.
Well, Mike's got to strike out.
out.
If Mike strikes out and Donnie doesn't double, Mike can beat him. But Mike can strike out with 216, but he can't throw anything on strike now.
Mm-hmm.
And the way lane 12 has been on him.
He got a finish on that line.
Yeah, he's coming up on lane 12, and he's had a couple of splits over there.
Yeah.
Oh, and he leaves the 7
7
pin.
pin. Lane 12 has been the nemesis of this match.
It has. It has. I think definitely Mike would have wanted to stay on 9 and 10.
Yeah, yeah.
Don seems to maybe have adjusted a little better. And then he does convert the spare, picking up the 7 pin. Now Mike's got to hope for Don not to finish strong
Yeah.
to have a chance here. Mike will be bowling his first ball on lane number 11 in the 9th frame.
Oh, left a 4 pin.
Left
this
the 4.
time.
Wow. Just everything else cleared out of there, and that 4
Yeah.
didn't even, nothing bumped it even.
No. Just, it's like Donnie, you know, pocket hit on 11 and leaves the 8 pin. Mike has a pocket hit, leaves the 4 pin.
Yeah. And he converts. Yeah, the strikes aren't as plentiful over here on 11 and
No,
12 as they were on 9 and 10.
Yeah.
For either bowler,
11
actually.
and 12 can be a little hair raising on league nights. I know that for sure.
Your own experience.
Yes, definitely.
When you see those lane assignments, you're not looking forward to it.
Definitely. Hey, left the 2-8. Wow.
It's another kind of odd one too, isn't it?
Yeah.
But we've seen it a couple of times today.
Yeah. Definitely.
And he just
And this you can chop off the 8 real quick.
And he did.
Yeah.
wow. Wow.
It's
Leaving the door open.
your ball comes in wrong angle.
Yeah. It just, yeah, you have to hit it right solid.
Got to hit it
Donnie,
solid on
Donnie
the right
has to
side.
double to shut Mike out.
Yeah.
If he goes strike spare, he'll have 193, and Mike can strike out for, oh no, Mike can only strike out for 185.
Oh, there you go. So that pretty well does it right there.
Yeah. And Mike can only strike out for 185.
That was clutch bowling there.
Yeah, he's relaxed now.
Yeah.
Another strike. Another strike for Don. And he strikes out for a 203.
Yep.
And he does it.
Okay.
Worthy of the champion. We're brought to you in part by Jim and Jeremy Letter at Jim Letter's Body Shop. It's the Nye family at Nye Builders since 1946, and they were the first client in the Bill Ream in 1965. Sean and Tasha Ridgway at Dillinger's, home of Breezy's Pizza, Public Square in Bucyrus.
Oh, there Mike left the 2, 4, 8, 10.
Wow.
That's all right, Mike. Someone's got to be low.
Jeez.
That's another odd. That's another
Oh,
odd
that's-
split to lead, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's Curtis Groves coming up with that comment.
He takes out the three. So that'll do it. We have the champion,
Yeah.
and it is Don McLaughlin.
203 to 160.
Hey, Mike. You didn't, you didn't tell me you were collecting the Little Eagles.
So we'll have the presentation of the trophies by Bill Hansen. He's going to be taking the microphone down. We were limited to one microphone today. The suitcase that we brought only had the one, and we were up against it on airtime. So unfortunately, we can't have Bill Rahm Jr. on at the same time. We need to have the microphone down with Bill Hansen. And while we're waiting for everything to get configured, we'll remind you that we're brought to you in part by Mike
How about a nice
Quinine.
hand for these two? Good match, you guys. Kind of hit a tough spot on 11 and 12, but it was a good match. All right, I got some money to hand out. 6th place is Al Garvin. I know he's here. I don't know if Brock Liggins is here or not. Oh yeah, he is. Good. Al and Brock finished tied for 5th. Oh, got my Stro shirt on. Al wanted one of my Stro shirts to hang up in his bowling alley. He's got his retro alley out there, and I give him one.
I think the sun must have shrunk it a little.
I'm sure it did. Congratulations, you guys.
Thank you.
Mitch Long, he finished in 4th. You get a check for 150. You want to say anything?
Just congratulations to Donnie. Lost a tough first match. So, and Mike, good bowling all tournament. So, good luck, guys.
Good job. Third place is Dave Schock. He finished in 3rd. Get a check for $250. For you guys that don't know it, Dave Schock and Mitch Long had an epic match there on Sunday. Dave had to throw the first 10 in a row to shut Mitch out in the 4th game, and he went on to shoot 300. So they had a great match. Good bowling.
Thanks, everyone, and this is definitely a highlight of my bowling season. I look forward to it every year. It's great competition, great friends, and great camaraderie and history, and just love this place.
Thank you. Mike Lear. You bowled well the whole tournament, just a rough spot there on 11 and 12. And they were rough for both of you, but good job.
Thank you.
And once
That's
you give
the wrong
you,
envelope, I'll tell you that.
okay. Well, that's one's got your name on it. I'm sorry. He got a check for $300, and the runner.
No, it's one on the left.
And no, I don't think so. And runners-up trophy. He's got 2 of these back to back, so I know he wanted this one, but made the finals 3 years in a row, and that's something to be proud of. It's
Yep.
second time it's ever been done, so good job.
Thank you. I want to thank everybody that comes out here, and especially the sponsors. Lead Hill Road Machinery sponsored me, and it's a blessing to turn around and see this tournament still have so much support by the spectators and the bowlers that come out here, and of course all the sponsors. And it's always a pleasure bowling with Donnie. Not when you're on the downside of it, but for the most part. All right, thank you guys.
All right. Don McLaughlin. This is Don's 5th time in the finals. He's won 3 and was runner-up twice, so he's had a good run about the last 10 years or so. He's he bowls well, and there's not a lot of movement to his bowling, so that's a simple way to do it. You did a good job through the tournament. You had the 1036, which was the high this year, and I've got a patch for you to put a jacket on. You get a green blazer, and to my creamy. And the championship trophy, and you did a great job. I'm really proud of you.
I don't have a lot to say. Just want to say. Thanks everybody for coming out. And my sponsor.
Okay.
Chuck.
I got a sponsor trophy for Massage Blades. We appreciate these sponsors, you know. Without the sponsors, the tournament couldn't go. So we appreciate everybody that sponsors these bowlers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jack.
Thanks.
All right, well, very good. So I hope to have another great tournament next year, and hope that all you bowlers come out. We really appreciate the support we get. So thank you very much. For those of you that bought 50-50 tickets,